All right, so if you follow the NBA at all, you've likely seen the latest news drop,
Oh yeah, the Suns again. Another one bites the dust, huh?
right? Phoenix Suns, Mike Budenholzer, gone after only a single season leading the team.
Yeah, and when these things happen, wins and losses are, well, they're the headline, but it's rarely the whole story.
Exactly. There's always more going on beneath the surface, isn't there? Team dynamics, context.
For sure. Context is everything.
So that's what we want to do in this deep dive, really try and dig into the why behind Budenholzer's firing, look at the bigger picture in Phoenix.
And figure out what it all means for them going forward.
Yeah. We've pulled together quite a bit of stuff here, articles from places like Sportskeeda, SI, 12 News, Click in Detroit, CBS Sports, a discussion off YouTube from House of Highlights, some StatMuse data, even fan reactions from Reddit. So a real mix.
Trying to get that full 360 view, not just the basic news alert.
Totally. And the immediate thing that jumps out, as you mentioned, is the season itself. They finished 36-46.
Yeah, after starting 8-1, which is quite the drop-off, missed the playoffs entirely.
That right there sets the stage, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It kind of collapses the puzzle we're trying to piece together.
Definitely. So the official word came down Monday, April 14th. It was everywhere.
All those sources we mentioned picked it up fast. And the fan reaction? Sportskeeda highlighted this. A lot of surprise, but maybe more concern.
Well, yeah, because this is the third coach fired in 3 years. 3 for 3.
That's a pattern. Fans are noticing. Sportskeeda had quotes, like one fan saying, 4 coaches in 4 years is crazy.
Can't blame him. That lack of continuity is tough. Another fan mentioned new owner syndrome.
Ah, yeah. The impatience, maybe. Wanting those instant results, especially with a new ownership group.
Could be part of it. It points to instability, whatever the root cause.
Okay, let's really get into the reasons why then. Obviously, that 36-46 record, that's got to be number one on the list.
Yeah.
Pretty much every report mentions it.
It's the most visible factor, absolutely. You don't need expectations, especially with that roster. Your seat gets hot. But, like we said, probably more to it.
Seems like it. So, Sports Illustrated, citing the Athletics reporting, pointed to a, quote, major issue.
Right. This is where it gets interesting. The relationship between Budenholzer and Devin Booker, and other key players, too, apparently.
So not just Booker.
The report suggested broader issues, but the dynamic with Booker was highlighted. It sounds like things got contentious, made it hard for Budenholzer to manage the locker room effectively.
Okay. And SI also noted the Suns still plan to build around Booker. He's 28, right in his prime.
Exactly. So if that relationship wasn't working, they felt they couldn't move forward productively with Budenholzer.
CBS Sports had that specific example, too, didn't they? About Bud asking Booker to tone it down vocally earlier in the season.
Yeah, that definitely hints at some underlying tension from pretty early on. A bit of friction there.
Paints a picture of a disconnect coach and star player.
It does, but we have to be careful, right? We also have Kevin Durant's side of things.
Right, from that House of Highlights video.
Yeah.
That's important context, too.
Yeah, KD really pushed back on the idea that his own on-camera exchange with Bud was some huge negative thing.
Was his take.
Basically, that stuff happens. Competitive people, they care. They might disagree or discuss things intensely. He said his way and Bud's way weren't always the same, but Budenholzer actually let him voice his opinion, gave him that space as a veteran player.
So Durant saw it as healthy disagreement, or at least normal.
Pretty much. He felt like outsiders, the media or fans, they see a clip and run with it, maybe blow it out of proportion because they don't understand the actual relationship.
Okay.
He actually framed those interactions as proof that they both cared about winning and were trying to figure things out.
That's a really valuable perspective from inside the locker room. The counter-narrative, almost.
Yeah, it is. But, even acknowledging Durant's view, SI still made the point. Coaches have been fired before over issues with star players. It's not unheard of.
True. A recurring theme in the league, maybe.
And it wasn't just about the stars either. 12 News and Click in Detroit mentioned other potential problems.
Like what?
Things like inconsistent rotations, rookies getting really variable minutes, that kind of thing.
Okay. Making it hard for young guys to develop a rhythm, maybe.
Could be. And also a reported lack of communication with Jusuf Nurkic, the center, before he got traded.
So potentially broader issues in managing the whole roster, not just the big names.
Yeah, it suggests maybe the challenges went beyond just the Booker relationship.
So pulling it together,
Yep.
disappointing record, the reported friction with Booker and maybe others, maybe some issues with rotations and communication.
Yeah.
It sounds like a mix of things.
Seems likely. But again, you can't ignore the history here in Phoenix. This isn't happening in a vacuum.
Right. the instability factor. Like we said, third coach gone in 3 years. Sportskeeda, SI, CBS, Suns.com. They all hammer that point home. Vogel last year, Monty Williams the year before.
It's pretty stark when you lay it out like that. And that StatMuse data you mentioned really drives it home, looking back further.
Yeah, going back to Jeff Hornacek in 2014. The list of coaches isn't short, and the recent tenures are really short. Kokoskov, Triano, Watson. It feels like a revolving door.
It really does, which ties into that CBS Sports piece about the coach firing epidemic in the NBA overall.
How was their angle on that?
Well, they pointed out that firing coaches, even championship-winning coaches like Nick Nurse from Toronto, Vogel from the Lakers, and now Bud from the Bucks, it doesn't automatically fix the team's problems.
Good point. It's not always the coach, is it?
Exactly, and CBS posed that question directly. If you go through 4 coaches in 4 years, is the problem the coaches? Or is it something deeper within the team or the organization itself?
That's the million-dollar question for the Suns right now, isn't it? Really make you think, where does the real issue lie?
Yeah. It definitely puts the pressure and expectations on these coaches into perspective. Okay, so shifting gears slightly, let's look at the team's performance again, beyond just the record.
Right, because the way they finished the season was, well, alarming. 11th in the West, missed the play-in entirely.
And losing 9 of their last 10 games, that's just a free fall. 12 News and Click in Detroit both highlighted that rough finish.
Especially given the talent, right? This was supposed to be a contender, a high-priced roster, as the reports keep saying, with Durant, Booker, and Beal.
Huge expectations, and they just couldn't meet them. Didn't even come close at the end.
And those reports also mentioned the limitations they had, like at the trade deadline. Beal's no-trade clause. That must have tied their hands a bit.
Oh, absolutely. A no-trade clause gives the player all the leverage. Plus, their salary cap situation was tight, made it really hard to, shake things up or add pieces mid-season.
So, a tough situation roster-wise, too, which maybe explains why we're hearing whispers about bigger changes coming.
Definitely. That Reddit discussion referencing Shams Charania at ESPN, him calling the firing the first action in a summer of change, that's pretty strong language.
Yeah, very telling. And the expectation seems to be trade talks involving KD.
Right. And even discussions about Bradley Beal's future, despite that contract and no trade clause, the report suggests multiple teams will be interested in Durant.
And that the Suns will actually work with Durant to find his next spot.
That's what was reported, yeah. Which, if true, really signals a potential reset for the franchise, a major shift.
Wow. And Beal still has 2 years, over $100 million left, while Durant's going into the last year of his deal.
Yep. Those are the contract situations according to the reports. Big money, big decisions looming.
And that little detail from Reddit about the near trade of Durant back to Golden State at the deadline. Fascinating. Shows these talks might have been simmering for a while.
Seems plausible. It all points towards, as 12 News and Click on Detroit put it, potential major upcoming roster upheaval.
So, yeah. A lot of uncertainty, and now they need coach number 4 in 4 years to navigate all of this.
Exactly. It's a huge task for whoever comes in next.
Okay, so wrapping this deep dive up.
Yeah.
It feels pretty clear Budenholzer's exit isn't just about one coach or one bad season.
No, it seems to point to deeper stuff. Potential locker room issues, yes, but also that undeniable pattern of instability in Phoenix. It's become chronic.
Which leaves us, and everyone watching, with some massive questions. Who's the next coach? What happens with Durant? What about Beal?
And can they actually find a path back? Rebuild into a contender again in a stacked Western Conference? It's a tall order.
And thinking bigger picture, like that CBS piece suggested, this constant coaching churn, not just in Phoenix, but league-wide. What does it say about the pressure cooker these coaches work in?
Especially when you inherit a team built to win now. Are the expectations sometimes just unrealistic? Is firing the coach always the answer?
Or is it sometimes a symptom of bigger organizational problems that aren't being addressed? It's definitely something to chew on, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's a really complex situation.
So for everyone listening, this Phoenix Suns story is far from over. Keep an eye on the NBA news this offseason. It's going to be fascinating to see which direction they take.
For sure. Lots of dominoes yet to fall.